Hey, Reading Christian Fellowship, John Kraft. Hey, I hope you all are doing well, that you're staying safe, that you're staying healthy, that you're paying attention to this week as we think about Jesus and his journey towards the cross, towards the tomb, and towards the incredible resurrection that we get to celebrate on Easter. We'll talk a little bit more about that in just a little bit. But before we do that, I've got a couple of things that I want to do. First, I want to remind you about this great new opportunity that we have to connect online via Zoom. And that is something that we're calling RCF Face to Face. You know, during this time, one of the things that we're missing is some connection. And so we want to provide just another way to do that through this online meeting. Pastor Rick is hosting it to take some time just to get together and also to think a little bit about the church, to learn a little bit about what we're hoping to see God do through us. So there are two opportunities throughout the week to join in on that. Mondays at 3:30, Mondays at 3 and Thursdays at 3. If you want more information about that, you can contact Rick via email at rick@rcfellowship.org, and he'll get you the Zoom meeting info, and you can join in, see each other face to face, and learn more about the church. Second thing that I want to do is, many people have asked, what's going on with our missionaries? Well, I had the opportunity after our staff meeting yesterday to grab Jerry Mapes, our missions pastor, and to chat about that via Zoom. So here's that interview that we did yesterday. Hey, we are here with Jerry Mapes, our missions pastor, and I know a lot of you have been wondering what's going on with some of the missionaries that we support and some of the agencies that we work with around the world. So I thought we'd sit down and kind of virtually discuss what's going on. So Jerry, how are you doing?
Doing good. I mean, as well as could be expected, but doing well.
As you think about it, as our missions pastor and as someone who works with missionaries around the world, what are some of the big issues that you're seeing in this time as we face the coronavirus pandemic?
Well, for some of our partners, the challenge initially was, do we stay or do we go? And in some instances, some of our sending agencies said, no, you need to get back to the States. Others have decided that either they have served long enough in that area that that's kind of their home anyway, they've stayed. And then some have made the choice to stay. And I think of Andrea Craddock as being one. She was in the Czech Republic, and she's still there and is able to still do her work, but she's isolated at home just like we are. So that's been one of the challenges.
Wow. So what is it like then for our missionaries who are kind of isolated? And what's that experience like? What are you hearing as you talk with some of them?
Well, for some of them, work continues, and they're having to be creative with their ministry, just like we are here. So kind of depending on the type of area that they work in, if they're in a third world country, a lot of them, the concern was health. I mean, if the virus was to show up there, could they get the medical attention they need? And one of the issues that I never really considered is in some of the third world countries, it's not the pandemic that they're concerned about, but it's the view of some of the people that they serve, how they're perceived. They could be seen as the one that's bringing this disease to them. And so in one case, one of our missionary partners got the last flight out because they weren't concerned about the pandemic, but they were concerned about the way that they were viewed. Oh. And so their own safety, they ended up leaving.
And so as you think about missions moving forward, what do you think might be some of the challenges? Like after all of this kind of is wrapped up and we start to return to life towards normal, what do you think some of those challenges might be?
Well, my initial thought is what a shame. We have all these missionaries around the world that are having to come home, which is going to leave a void. But yet, the church is global. Many of these partners have served for years there, and there are locals that are born again believers that love the Lord and want to serve the Lord. And so a lot of those voids are going to need to be filled in by them. In some regards, that's a good thing. And so, again, what Satan meant for evil, God will turn into good. And so I'm very hopeful, and I'm very excited about what God is doing through our partners and the lack of our partners in some regards. how the ministry is going to continue.
Wow. Well, Jerry, thanks for giving us a little bit of an update. I would just want to take a minute and give you a plug and say, during this time, it's important that we remember to continue to be generous and to support work that goes on around the world, because as a church, we support, how many missionaries do we support, Jerry?
Well, if we talk individuals, we're talking about 50 individuals.
And so those are people who rely on the giving of churches, and so we need to continue to be faithful as we think about what God's doing around the world.
Sure.
So Gary, thanks for your time. And
I might mention too that on the Facebook page, church Facebook page, I'm going to be doing some updates on there periodically and tell you how to pray and people to think about.
Yeah, that's awesome. Jerry, thank you so much. Make sure you watch for those video updates on our Facebook page. And remember, we're still meeting 9 and 11 o'clock online. Love you guys. We'll talk to you later. Thanks, Jerry.
Bye-bye.
And lastly, as we head towards this weekend, I hate it that we can't be all together. But the fact that we aren't going to be all together doesn't mean that we can't celebrate the death, burial, and incredible, glorious resurrection of Jesus. And so we are going to continue on with what we would normally do on an Easter Sunday. We're going to have our Easter sunrise service. It'll be at 6:15. That'll be online. You can get up. You can get ready for your Easter. You can join us as Pastor Tom and I will be out on the patio thinking about Jesus and his amazing resurrection. And then we'll have 2 services at 9 and 11. Again, as we think about the fact that Jesus rose from the dead, because he came, he purposed to go to the cross. He saw us in our need. He saw us in need of salvation. And he conquered sin, and he conquered death. He abolished it for all eternity. So we get to celebrate that. It's an incredible opportunity still to think about who we can invite to join us. Now, we may not be, or we won't be inviting them to join us in the auditorium, but it might even be easier for them to join us as they join us online. So we've created a Facebook event. You can use that. You can go to our Facebook page at Reading Christian Fellowship, and you can use that invitation, that event to invite people to join us. So share it as much as you can. Invite all your friends to join us as we think about the incredible resurrection of Jesus. So take this week, think about Jesus, think about who he is, think about what he did when he went to the cross and rose from the dead on your behalf. We look forward to seeing you this Sunday at 6:15 for our sunrise service, 9 o'clock and 11 o'clock, all online, and it will be amazing to celebrate Jesus. God bless. Have a great day.